Hey, what's up guys? Kevin with Texas Premier Polishing. Today on Salinas we got something extra special for you. Back again with another vintage trailer. This one being a 1951 Silver Streak called a Clipper. This is back before Airstream was Airstream. It's still considered an Airstream. It's one of the most rarest designs you'll find. But as you can see, this thing is butchered. Someone attempted to polish it by themselves, but some things like this special, this rare, worth this much money, just need to be left to the pros. So you can see some of the guys have started a little bit on the trim here. This is some remnants of the customer doing it. He was using a flat pad and liquids. It's not a problem with that. Some guys use Nuvite, some guys use other methods, but you can see where my guys kind of started to take over right here. They started to sand it. They sanded it down with 800, 1200, 1500, and 3000 using grease. You don't want to use too much pressure. You don't want to use too much heat. I want to sand this absolutely highest and as good as possible. That way I have to use the least amount of pressure, the least amount of heat, the least amount of compound to get it done. So this is not finished, but this is the first step here. Started with the window trim, got everything done here. But back over here is where you start to see the big mess again. Everything's pretty straight on this thing. It's a little bit of hail damage, but the polishing job is really the only thing that lacks this thing from setting off. It's appraised at somewhere around $80,000. The interior is done. It's complete. The only thing it lacks is a polish job. So we've got everything taped down. Everything as far as the lights, all the chrome pieces, all the plastic pieces, the rubber fixtures, all that. So now we're gonna come through, sand everything needs to be sanded, polish everything, and hopefully give you guys a finish just like this. This is a kind of a shortcut piece we did for the customer while he's here to give him an idea of what it should look like. And obviously, that sold itself. So we appreciate you guys checking it out. Stay tuned with us. We'll give you a process. Everyone's been asking us, how do you do it? We'll show you exactly how we do it. Appreciate you guys. No hash marks. One of the most important steps, guys, especially if someone's polished it in the past, is to get it off there. So the best thing to use is acid to erase this. So you've got buffing marks and burn marks and everything here. So basically what we have here is water up to here, acid the rest of the way, then we add a little bit of Dawn dish soap and mix it all up together. The soap helps it lay down and let streak a little bit less. But what Tristan's gonna do is start laying it down with a pump sprayer, starting at the bottom and then go up, lay it down smooth, and then we'll just let it sit on for a second and rinse it off with a pressure washer. All right, now that it's acid washed, you can see it reveals every buff pass you've ever made. So not only does it tell you how good of a job you've done, if you're looking to get perfection on these things, but it shows you what areas you missed and kind of what patterns you need to be working on and all this stuff. So it's a lie detector as much as it is cleaning the surface and erasing everything. So now we should be able to go back over, sand everything off, and cut away. All right, like we always hit on, prep is key. Nothing different here, especially on this. Like we mentioned earlier, it's all about heat. Real thin metal, it flexes, so you got to really be careful. One thing to remember, we're always going to do it in shoulder length passes, whether we're sanding or whether we're cutting, coloring, or finishing with a foam pad. But we're going to also hit these sanders. I got a regular DA, I got an air DA. Doesn't matter as long as it's a DA. But this one, pretty good shape. We're going to start 800. We're going to move to 1,000, then 1,500, and then 3,000. We'll start with 800 dry, then move to the rest of them, moving all the way down while using the grease. Just put the pad on there, and as it's spinning, put a little bit of grease on there, and watch the magic happen. This just reduces the friction a little bit, takes the sanding marks out, and makes them a lot easier to cut. Remember, we don't want to spend too much time cutting. It should be very easy. So we got Lamont here. He's going to grab the fast cut wheel with the TR2 Tripoli compound, get us a couple back cuts and clean this up, and that's going to be our first step after sanding. All right, now that we've got it cut with the fast cut and the TR2 Tripoli compound, we're gonna grab our mineral spirits, mix with a little bit of Pro 40, wipe down our surface, get all of our leftover compound off there. We don't wanna mix it as we move on to our Joker pad and the Max Red. Now we'll have Lamont come back over, 2,200 RPMs. He's gonna have the Joker pad with some Max Red and add some color to this. Run straight up it. All right, this is what it looked like after the secondary pass. This pass is just made to add some color. It's tightened down your lines a little bit and added a bunch of clarity. So now what we want to do is tighten down these tinsel lines. Now that we've made it this shiny, we want these buffing marks to go away a little bit. So we'll have Thickbeard do. Thickbeard's going to grab the sander. He's going to have a DA pad on there. He's going to put a foam pad on there. Not a heavy cut, not a soft, but somewhere in the medium. And add 3 dots of Pro 40 on there. And what he's going to do is work the area real good back and forth, just like you're doing paint correction. It'll weave in and out. And use the heat transfer to knock out some of these hash lines. All right, now he's done it with the Pro 40, ran over it probably 15, 16 times to get it go good. So now he's gonna take a microfiber, fold it over in 4s, and wipe this off. You'll see the clarity still there. It's kind of hazed it just a little bit, but we have a trick for that to fix that. So we'll wipe it off and show you that all the hash marks and stuff is gone. Now what we strive for is a perfect mirror reflection. It's a little bit duller, it's still real shiny, a little bit duller than it was after the secondary step. It's a lot cleaner now, but we wanna get that pop, we want that show shine. So what we're gonna do, assuming we've done the whole trailer, is re-acid wash this just like we did in the first part. That's the trick, guys. Get the discoloration a little bit out, acid wash it again, then we're gonna come back with our final step. I know you guys are wondering what happened to my nicely polished, smooth, clear surface. Don't worry about it. I know it's the last thing you wanna do as first timers or how-to guys or even the professional guys is acid wash a perfectly polished surface, but what we're looking for here is over the whole surface is to get all the hash marks down as low as possible. So we need to be able to hide our last pass no matter what it was. So now that it's acid washed, Lamont's gonna grab an untreated wheel, all white, 10-inch buff from Zephyr, and the new Black Magic compound is gonna run at about 1800 RPMs. It's gonna run straight up there and watch how clear it gets. All right, this is what we're looking for, guys. That's the type of finish we want to have and accomplish over this whole entire trailer. Now, we can't just do pieces like this because you'll have patches, patches, patches here and there. So what you want to do is follow me to this next section. You see there's all different designs in this trailer. But here's one of the most unique trailers you'll find, so it's a good example. You could cut this piece and color and do all those pieces, but what you need to do is do that step by step to the whole entire piece. All the way around to this rib, all the way around to this seam. The whole entire piece needs to be done separately. So I would start here. I start on the left, and I go to the right, then I go up. So I would do this piece here. I get it all cut. Then I move to this one. Then I get this one all cut and brought together. Then I do the whole entire trailer. Then I'd start back here and go to my second step like we showed you. So just repeat your steps that you've done on the little spot on the whole entire trailer. And all you gotta do is wipe down at the end. It'll be all right, guys, if you followed all those steps, you should have a perfect mirror shine. Now we mentioned earlier about these big sections here. Now you also see some small sections down here. It just depends on the trailer or the piece that you're working on. This one here has a big section that runs seam to seam. This one here is broken up into 2 pieces. So you want to run those all together. Not just the finishing step, but every single step. Polishing is meant to hide the past before. So you really got to slow it down, get the detail, make sure your arms and angles are right speed, and you'll have a finish like this. Now, we're gonna go back about 1,800 RPMs with the Black Magic from Zephyr and a 20-ply Domat flannel pad. We're gonna go over this real easy, probably in about 2 or 3 passes. We're gonna rake in between each pass, putting fresh roots on the pad. Let's just come out to a perfect mirror shine. All you're gonna have to do is grab a rag, wipe off a little residue off each rivet, and kick it out the door. Stay tuned. I appreciate you guys for joining us on Salinas today. Follow the tips, man. You'll get a perfect mirror shine. We got to get to it, man. On to the next project.